I'm back at you one more time talking about toxic people. What caught my attention was the definition. I read it again and some came to mind, right? And what came to mind, let me read this definition real quick. It says toxic is a person whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. The key word for me is behavior. The way they behave, not what you do to them, not what you do to them, but their behavior adds negativity and it upsets your life. Not what you do to them, not what you don't do to them. It's their behavior that adds negativity and upsets your life. Meaning that the toxic is coming from the person. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you conduct your life, no matter what you do, it's their behavior. Now, many times you will hear a person say, if you would do this, if you would do that, I would act like this. I wouldn't be so toxic. My behavior wouldn't be so bad. This is not true. This is not dealing with your own stress and trauma. This is what makes you toxic. Many times people will get you to believe if you would just act like this. I promise you, if you would do this right here, my behavior, the way I act would change. But this is not true. This is not true. This is Eminem. You know what Eminem? Eminem is mind manipulation. I went to school for this stuff. I went to school in the street for this stuff first. I was a mind manipulator. I know what I hear. Eminem is mind manipulation. Toxic people are dealing with stress and trauma. And it's too much for them. Why? Because they have not tackled their problem. They have not dug deep within themselves and dealt with the trauma or dealt with the stress. So what happens? They present themselves not so much in the best light. And they would drain you. These are not bad people, but they would drain you because what they're dealing with at the time is too much. If you let too much stuff pile up on you, your life, you let too much stuff pile up on you, on your back, it will crush you. It will cause you to act irrational. You can't handle it. You can't handle things because you let them pile up and it's stressing you out. Or you let situations in your past life, in your past life, build up the traumas. You didn't seek to deal with it. We have to deal with our own traumas. We got to. If we're going to get rid of trauma and toxic behavior, it is I behavior, not what you don't do for me. I know. You're talking to a kid that was really toxic to his mother. I thought it was something that she was doing to me, but it was something that I wasn't understanding about myself. I didn't know how to cope with stress. It was too much. So I blamed it on outside people. But my behavior is my behavior. I do the things that I do because it's me. So once I started to change the way I look at life and dug deep, I went to studying. I wanted to know more about the human being, how the mind works, how the soul works, how the heart works. This is when I started to move out of the toxic. I really wanted to design my own life. I realized that I'm in control. And I still deal with stuff. That's why every morning I wake up to develop myself, to spend time with myself. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. But do not let someone mind manipulate you, Eminem, make you think the reason why I act the way I act is because you don't do what I want you to do. That's really what they're saying. It's called control too. Someone put it on us and we'll put it on you. Someone put it on me and I put it on her. This is what I did in the streets. I did it for a living. I played games with people's mind. But now I truly believe in taking the human being to its highest version. And that's all I want for you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Anybody that know me, I'm going to tell you something good before I tell you something bad. Am I absorbed from negativity? No. But I had to catch it. And when I do catch it, I start to work on myself. I said, I'm bringing stress to somebody's life. I'm upsetting somebody's life. My behavior, not their behavior, my behavior is upsetting someone's life. And that's not what I want. Right? So we must deal with our stress so we can get rid of our toxic ways. Deal with our trauma, old trauma. This takes digging. You know, if you're hungry for change, you would dig deep. I'll give you an example. If you're really hungry, you will work. And I want to give you the example of someone like, someone knock on your door. They say, I'm going to give you an example. They say, let me go this way. They say, knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, I guess they not there. Okay, I'll go on. But when someone is hungry for change, they won't stop knocking on their situation, on their trauma. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Just think about it. If you keep knocking on someone's door, the person might not want to be bothered, so they don't answer the knock, right? They don't answer the knock. But if you keep knock, 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 knocking on your situation, knocking on your trauma, knocking on someone's door, knock, 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 guess what's going to happen? That person is going to, let me see what this person wants. They must want something. And this is how we should be with our life. Keep knocking on our situations. Keep knocking on it. You can't just knock on a situation a couple of times and think it's going to change. No, you got to keep knocking on it, knocking on it, knocking on it till someone answer the door, to something change within your own soul, till you see yourself as a better version. If you want to design your life, you want to get rid of toxic ways, You got to learn to deal with your stress. You got to learn to deal with your old trauma. You cannot use the excuse that this happened to me, because life is about getting better. It's not about staying the same. And I'm talking to the person that I'm talking to me. See, you think I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me, right? So keep on knocking and let us deal with our stress and our trauma. And I promise you, I put my life on it. Our life will get better. Because why? We kept on knocking till someone opened the door. Or we kept on knocking until we got in the door of change. I leave you as I came, with peace. That feel good feeling, you know you want it. Thank you for listening.